Once upon a time, a bunch of Oakland police officers allegedly slept with a 14-year-old girl called Celeste. Now, these Oakland police officers insisted they only slept with Celeste when she was 18. You know, not child prostitution, just prostitution in general. Okay. Um, Kamala Harris knew about this and decided not to investigate and allow the Oakland Police Department to investigate itself. Okay, so what is Backpage? Backpage is a website. It used to be a website that had online chats and whatever. It had an adult section, and around the time when a bunch of websites were shutting down their adult sections because something trafficking, Backpage left its adult section open so that prostitutes could have a place to chat. So prostitutes using the website had a way of warning each other about Johns that were, abusive, jackasses, potentially homicidal, that sort of thing. Backpage's founders were, you know, press. They were press. They went from selling over 100 million newspapers to operating a website in the 2000s, and then in the 20 teens when law enforcement asked them to help them find Johns or whatever when it comes to, child trafficking, they happily obliged. Apparently, the director of the FBI actually congratulated them until election season came along. And Kamala Harris needed a win. So, before I whine about this, it should be noted that Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore, during some of these political hearings about child trafficking and whatever, pushed this idiot fiction about there being between 100,000 and 300,000 children in the US being trafficked back in the mid 2000s. That's like one of the essential popular fictional bullshit things that Kamala Harris was exploiting. And Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore were responsible for spreading that bullshit. In reality, it was more like a few thousand children being trafficked throughout the US. Maybe 10,000, I don't know, but it was nowhere near the hundreds of thousands from the figure they were quoting. The figure they were quoting was some are at risk things. It was children, this many children are at risk right now of being trafficked, as well as included weird, for whatever reason, included like consensual homosexual sex acts. Apparently, if it was like if someone's 16 and he bangs a guy in college, that's sex trafficking. You know, that sort of thing. Um, yeah, very responsible of Ashton. Very, very responsible. Not checking his sources. So Kamala Harris decided to prosecute this website that was working with the FBI to find child sex traffickers because they were supposedly helping child sex traffickers in spite of the FBI congratulating them. So what happened there? What happened? Well, the charges she brought against them were dismissed because of this little thing called Section 230. You know, it was a very well known thing. It was a very well known fact that she could not sue them on because of that decision, because of that like legal foundation. They were immune from prosecution because you know they were not facilitating the child sex trafficking. Now, what they did get convicted of, well, actually, what they did get sued over and then convicted, and then their conviction was overturned 5 years later because the prosecutors were constantly saying stuff about child sex trafficking, but not presenting any evidence of child sex trafficking or having a charge about child sex trafficking during the trial. So Kamala Harris conveniently in 2015, come election season, decided that she would, prosecute these people and push a myth that between 100,000 and 300,000 children in the US are being trafficked. And supposedly, once Backpage was gone, that would decrease the number of children being sex trafficked. It would be some sort of big blow to child sex trafficking. Yeah, founders, the founders of the website had to deal with the FBI breaking down their doors, holding them at gunpoint. One of them actually said that they pulled a 76-year-old grandmother out of the shower to put her in handcuffs. A 76-year-old grandmother pulled out of the shower and put in handcuffs because Kamala Harris all of a sudden started giving a fuck about child sex trafficking. Yeah, people who worked with these people. Yeah. So this whole thing about prostitution, it only became illegal after Trump signed something into law. FEMA, something weird named law about it being illegal or it being allowed for people to sue someone if the website is facilitating prostitution, and the website was making prostitution safer for prostitutes who had to take up, clients that they knew could be abusive. Nice job, Kamala. Um, Around 2013, 2014, when the website was shut down, I think the child sex abuse numbers in the US were around 10,000. They have since skyrocketed to about 30,000. Thanks, Kamala. Thank you so much, Kamala Harris. Thank you, Madam Vice President. Thank you so much about caring about child sex trafficking so hard. Now, what is Kamala's stance in the year 2022? Um, the Nordic model. The Nordic model is let's illegalize prostitution, but not illegalize prostitution, making it illegal to hire a prostitute and sleep with a prostitute, but at the same time legal for the prostitutes to be prostitutes and to do prostitution. So if someone, decides to go after a prostitute to find out about her Johns and, you know, arrest those people, wow, they can just, I don't know, can they like arrest the woman if she doesn't provide the John's information? What exactly is the merit of the Nordic model? There is no merit to the Nordic model. As far as I understand, she's pro the Nordic model, but the Nordic model is let's make something not illegal but at the same time illegal so we can pick and choose who we arrest like an authoritarian dictatorship. Fuck Kamala Harris.